tuned in to If It Wasn't for Art, your one-stop shop for everything related to art
and culture.
We have a very special guest here with us on this episode. Our mission and goal here is to introduce you to some talented artists from the city that you may or may not have heard of before. My ear is always to the street, so of course I know who this is. But I want you to hear directly from this talented artist, father, and entrepreneur, exactly who he is and where he's from, and some of the music that kind of influenced his journey. Welcome, Sean.
What's up? What's good, y'all? It's your boy Sean Shiz Lansky, Lassiter, 1/3 of Larsiny Family, born and raised Philly. You know, Philly, everything.
So, Sean, where exactly are you from in Philly, if you had to break it down?
I claim Logan, right?
Okay.
Because I spent a lot of years there, but born in South Philly, lived in South Philly from like 23rd and Federal in Bonzall Street.
Okay.
Up until probably like 87, somewhere around there. Moved to Logan.
Okay.
There ever since.
Got you.
Yeah.
Now, I know our environment kind of shapes the things that we talk about and how we view the world. So what part of the city would you say kind of shape your perspective, South Philly or Logan?
Definitely Logan.
Logan?
Yeah, Logan
okay.
for sure.
Now, what was the difference?
I don't know, like at the time we lived in South Philly. South Philly was like treacherous at that time.
Okay.
Like, this was like in the 80s, JBM era.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? So there was a lot of, crazy stuff happening around that time. I was just a little kid, so, I wasn't. That's when you had to, you sit on the step, don't leave off the step.
Gotcha.
It was that era. Like, go play in the backyard, right? Like,
right, we wasn't off the porch yet.
Yeah, like Logan, we got like, I was able to roam free. Like it was a little bit more chill up there.
Okay.
And that stuff ended up coming up there anyway, eventually, but it was a little bit more chill up there initially.
Okay.
So, I was able to roam around a little bit more.
Now, what age would you say you moved to Logan, just to give us an idea?
Yeah, probably like, I don't know, 7, 8, somewhere around there.
Okay, so you were still pretty young?
Yeah, still a kid, for sure.
Now, what school did you go to?
I don't even want to talk about schools. Like, I done went to so many schools in the city.
Okay.
Yeah, I swear to God. Like, we moved so much. Like, I couldn't even, I went to Pearson,
South
Philly, yeah.
Pierce, okay.
I said like 24th and like Catherine or something like that. Christian, 24th and Christian, I believe. Smith was in South Philly too.
Okay.
Yeah, I graduated elementary school from Bernie and Logan.
Okay.
And I graduated middle school from J. Cook and Logan.
Got you.
And then I got kicked out of high school. I kicked out of Allen.
Okay.
Yeah.
But wait.
Yeah.
Let's talk about elementary school.
Okay.
Because another goal of mine for this podcast is to kind of connect more with the youth.
Right.
So if you had to compare your education, like what school would you say had the best outcome education-wise for you?
I don't know. Like at that particular time, like I don't think that like I was probably what you would call gifted now.
Okay.
Right. And
like
I don't
MG?
think.
Did they have any programs like that?
Yeah, I don't think they had that at that time, right?
Gotcha.
So like, I got bored easy. So I became that like mischievous kid.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like you say something to me, I'm a question you on it.
Right.
Like it got to make sense. Like so, I became like the problem, and it wasn't that I was the problem. It's just that like.
You was a critical thinker.
Yeah, like they just wasn't built. Yeah, they wasn't built for that. Like, it was just
right.
like, yo, I'm gonna throw these facts at you, but
just regurgitate them.
Just regurgitate it. Yeah, yeah. So
okay.
I don't know. I ain't really particularly have a good experience in school.
In either one. Okay.
Yeah. Like I mean,
got you.
Yeah. Middle school was probably like more chill because I had so back in the 80s, like the majority of teachers, my teachers were like Caucasian.
Got you. Okay, so
older and Caucasian.
So no
right?
black
or older black,
representative.
like older, like damn near about to retire.
Got you.
Right. So when I got to middle school, my teachers were a little bit younger. They were more like, yo, I could be your mom and your auntie. I'll slap the you know what I'm saying?
Okay. Put hands to you.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Call your mom.
That's funny.
Look, I'm gonna put hands when you call your mom. Like, it was that type of energy. So, probably my 8th grade teacher, Miss Williams, was somebody that, you know, that left a imprint on how I do things. Cause she'll yoke you up.
Okay, but it was out of love.
Yeah, in love, right? Like, she'll yoke you up. You know what I'm saying? It was cool.
Okay.
She had a little box, and she used to come with her pants with the airbrush on them and all that. Like,
Okay,
yeah,
the artwork.
Yeah. She
Okay.
was, and then probably like in, that was probably 8th grade, but like in maybe like 5th grade, we had this group called like the Star Team. So it was for kids that was like, again, mischievous, right? Like they put all the badass kids in in these groups, right? It was like 4 teachers in one class to like 20 kids, right?
Okay.
Yeah, it was like one of them type situations. So we had, I think we had like Miss Sims. She was big on like African culture.
Okay. I had a similar experience.
You know what I'm saying? She come with her dashikis on and all that. And then we had another teacher. I can't think of her name right now, but she had the locks, and she used to be big on poetry.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? Like got me.
Got you.
She got me started, with poetry.
Right,
Like, she introduced it early
now,
on.
what
like,
grade would you say that was?
that was like 5th, maybe like 5th, 6th grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had an early introduction to the arts through school, you would say?
No, because like, all right, so my history with like music and my family goes back.
Okay.
Right.
Let's
So
talk
like,
about that.
my mother's godmother was Gilda Woods, which was the wife of Georgie Woods.
Okay. Now educate us on who Georgie
Georgie,
Woods is.
you gotta know who Georgie Woods is.
You gotta
Georgie Woods,
educate us.
like,
I mean, that's why we're
radio
here.
personality, you know, legend.
Okay.
You know, if it was happening, you know, in the 60s, 50s,
Okay.
you had to go. Yeah, Georgie was the guy.
Got
right?
you.
Like, I'm trying
Now,
to think.
was it a radio station that Georgie was on?
I'd be
was
lying
on
to you if I tell you the station. Was it WD? It wasn't WDS at that time. WHAT. I was too young. I was too young to.
Got you.
Just like
That's all right.
Delphonics days.
Okay.
And, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. So Temptations days. I'm not even born right at this point. But you know, the family was always, you know, exposed to music. My mom went to all the Jackson shows and all that type of stuff when she was when she was a kid. And then my uncle, he had when he was like 10, you know, he had a record out.
Okay.
Through, I think it was through Philly Groove Records, which was owned by damn, who owned Philly Groove Records? I can't think of it right now. You're gonna kill me. NWD. Okay. Yeah. So he had a record out at the time that was written by a guy named Maurice Coates. Maurice was part of like Brenda and the Tabulations.
Okay. A lot of history and culture.
Yeah, you know, that's all connected to, you know, South Philly right there. Gamble and Huff and all that. Everything was kind of like tied in. So my uncle always had like a band, a recording studio.
Okay.
Everything, and it'd always be like they always practice in the basement at my grandparents' house.
Okay,
so.
Similar.
Yeah, it's always around you, like, you know what I'm
saying?
Yeah.
My dad also, he talked about Philly International a lot.
Yeah.
You ever been to Philly International?
Of course,
Okay.
of course.
Nah.
Yeah. So it kind of started there with my uncles. I used to just be curious, but they sung. I couldn't sing. I can't sing to save my life. Like it's old. Like I can sing in the studio though. Right, like it's different, right?
Right.
But I couldn't sing to save my life, so like, and you figure like early '80s, everything is more so like R&B, soul,
melodic.
What would now Hall & Oates would be considered like soul? I mean, yeah. What it wasn't no like real hip hop at that time, like, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it was just all, you know what I mean? So I'm trying to figure it out because I like it, but I like music, but I don't.
But it's not yours yet.
Yeah, it ain't my like. I don't know where I fit in with it.
It's more like your parents.
Yeah, so I wasn't. You know, I grew up on all the '70s, you know, all the '60s, '70s music. I still sing. I ride around playing more of that music today than I do like music from my era. Like I'd be riding around Donny Hathaway or something. Old heads like, yo, yeah, What you know about that youngin? Listen, that's what I do.
All right, it's a part of your fabric, your
Yeah,
DNA.
yeah. So
And
but it
you
was
said your
I just wanted to say
we like prayers. We take prayers.
Wait, where did that come from? That's so strange.
Yeah.
You brought your mom up, and you said your godmom.
Yeah. So her godmother's Gilda Woods,
Uh-huh.
which is Georgie Woods' wife at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So she was always constantly around, and she would, you know, we would sing and dance, like all other kids, right? Like she would come
Right.
around. Oh my God, you guys, you so
We
talented.
used to play Apollo, the Showtime at the
Oh
Apollo.
yeah, I don't think we got that creative. Like we used to. It was me and my cousins, my cousin Kev and my cousin Ace. Like we used to put together little groups, right? And then we had the girls that was on the block, our neighbors. Like we would have our little groups and do our dances and all that. Like yeah. So but yeah, she would always be around, and that between my uncle and her, I was like, all right, I got to end. Like I got to figure out what I do though. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I know I can because they right there.
You know it's possible.
Yeah, they was close. So
Okay.
yeah, I just kind of was trying to figure it out, and then I think when the show hit,
What show?
the show. There's only
That was,
one
it was
show.
called The Show?
That's
Okay.
it's only
Educate us.
the show. Dougie Fresh and
Oh, okay.
yeah, Slick Rick, right?
Dun, 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 dun,
I was living uptown at the
dun,
time
dun.
though. Right, so this was like 87. Was that about 87, right? It was about 87 somewhere around the time. 88. I know I was living uptown. I was living in.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was living in right off like what is it, 74th and Ogon, somewhere around there.
Okay, so that's when you were in Logan.
No, I'm uptown at this point.
Okay.
So we went uptown and then to Logan, but that dropped, right, and it was crazy. 86. Okay, so 86, right? That dropped, right? And I'm like, yo, like, what is that?
That's what you was waiting on.
Yeah.
It was yours. It spoke directly to you.
What is that, right? Because it's like, all right, I ain't got to sing it, right? It's just words, right? Like, and then, that's when it kind of started to click with me.
Okay.
Like, started to click. But, at that time, it wasn't like try to write your own. I wasn't thinking like write my own. I was just thinking of, mimicking what they was doing.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so that's 86, man. That's a long time ago.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I was a pup.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you mentioned your cousins and doing music
Mm-hmm.
with them. Did y'all like start rapping and writing after that?
So
after
we
you heard the
probably, so I used to write raps on the low by myself. Like I ain't never even told nobody.
show? Me too. I kept it a
Right,
secret.
I was trying,
Why?
right? Like-
Why did we keep it a secret though?
I don't know.
I know
can't
why
even tell
I
you.
did. I couldn't listen to hip hop growing up. My dad was kind of strict, so that's why I kind of kept it a secret.
I think most
and I'm
of-
shy.
I wanted to be a performer, but I was shy too.
Okay, so most artists are introverts
Yeah. So,
and shy. So
yeah, I was comfortable around like family and all that, but yeah, like putting my own art forward at that time just ain't really. Yeah, I wasn't about to
Okay.
do that.
So you was, just perfecting your craft on the low.
Yeah. So I probably didn't really put nothing in the air until maybe probably about like 1990 or something. Yeah,
Okay.
Somewhere around that time.
Now, what age were you around that time, if you don't mind me asking?
90, it was probably around like 10, 11, somewhere around there.
Okay, so you were still pretty young.
Yeah.
5th grade, 6th grade-ish.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had this kid in my class. His name was Rodriguez.
Mm-hmm.
And all he did was rap all day.
Okay, so he was not shy.
Like he was the if I thought anybody was gonna make it,
It was him.
it was Rodriguez. Like this
Wow.
kid, that's all he did was write raps. He sit in class, he ain't doing no work. Mm-hmm. He writing raps. He performing at the talent show in school. I'm just sitting there like, damn, I want to do that.
Now, did he know that you rhyme too, or no?
Yeah, I latched on.
Okay.
Yeah, I latched on. Like anytime, and I don't know, you could probably speak to this yourself. Like anytime you found somebody that did something that like you was into, I latched on.
Okay.
Right?
It's like a
it was all-
magnet.
yeah, because like my uncle and them ain't know nothing about hip hop. They was still doing covers for, you know what I'm saying, songs that they grew up on,
Okay.
right? Like my uncle didn't make that transition into hip hop.
Did your uncle play an instrument?
Nah, he was just a singer.
Just a singer? Okay.
Yeah, he just sung. He played like the congos, but I don't know if they really count.
I would count the congos.
Do they count?
Drums, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
That's funny.
Yeah, he would play those like while he sung, but yeah, he didn't make the transition into hip hop, so it was like I had to go outside to figure it out.
Okay. Now, it took me a minute. Like, I've known you for a little while now, but it took me a minute to put two and two together. Like, oh, you're Shiz Lansky.
Yeah, you know, it's one of them things. Like, if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. Like,
Right.
it don't really define me. Like, some people live in a like
Yeah, they
rapper
lead
space,
with it. Yeah, I can't.
right? Like, I walk in the room, everybody got to know who I am because it.
To change.
Like, yeah, like me, I'm
Low-key
cool.
cool.
Like I think when I first, again, I'm not shy now, right? Like I'm very comfortable in my skin. Call me Sean or call me Shiz, they both work, right? But like, I like my privacy. I don't like
Right.
being. It's weird when a bunch of people know you and you don't know them.
Right. I get what you're
You see
saying.
what I'm saying? Like, it's weird, and I thought that like I wanted it until I experienced it.
Yeah.
Right, get out there. You got people staring at you, like, and I'm from street
Right.
culture.
So you don't know why they staring. You just know they staring.
Yeah, and then you be like, you ready to set off with somebody? They be like, yo, bro, I heard you on such and such, man. Yo, I'm a fan. Bro, you supposed to do that from the gate. You supposed to just come over and say who, you know what I'm saying? Say what it
Yeah.
is. I'm over here about to line you up. Like,
Right. I'm thinking it's a
Yeah, I'm thinking
dangerous
it's something
situation.
totally different. So,
So how did you, I guess, meet your group members when you turned into Shiz?
So I started out. So So in my hood, if your name was like Sean or Stefan or anything, you was a Shiz, right? If you was Micah, whatever, you was Miz, right?
Okay.
That was just that era. And so then we had like a whole lot of like low life, shit going on in my community.
Okay.
We wear polo, you know what I'm saying? Like that was like the thing. So initially I started out as like Shiz Low. That was my
Got you. I was wondering if you were
Yeah.
talking about like the fashion.
Yeah.
I'm like,
fashion,
low life.
Yeah,
What's going
it was a whole thing, Used
okay,
to do
the
a lot
low
of
life,
boosting and all that
yeah.
type stuff. But then there was another Shiz in my hood, and if your name's Sean,
That's what they call it.
so yeah, he kind of got that one off first. Like,
Okay. So did y'all battle it out for it?
no,
or?
he ain't bad. He wasn't even into music or nothing like that. He was
Okay.
just a street dude. But I was like, nah, can't have. We already got to share Shiz, right? So it's like I got to find something else. And at that particular time, like everybody was using like gangster names.
Uh-huh.
And everybody was doing the obvious shit, like the Capones, you know what I'm
Right.
saying,
The
the
Italian
Escobars and all that type
mob,
stuff. And I used to read. I still read a lot. And I read up on Maya Lansky
Okay.
and his whole this when I'm like 13.
Now, how did you get access to that book?
I used to just read a lot. So
Okay.
I
It was just
reading.
in your household or library?
Nah, it's probably like one of the
school?
homies. Listen, if you
Okay.
everybody that I used to vibe with used to be a little older than me or older.
Okay.
Right? So, like, if I go in your crib and you got a book and yo, what's that? Right? Like,
Okay.
that was me because I'm trying to figure out what you know.
Right. And you were always a critical thinker.
Yeah.
too.
So, I read the Maya Lansky book and, like, who he was to this day fits who I am. Right?
Now, educate us on who that is.
So, Maya Lansky was the only Jewish member of the, the Italian mafia, right?
Okay.
He probably the only one that died of natural causes.
Without a violent,
Without violence. Never went to prison. He got arrested before, but he ain't
No
died
time
in
to-
prison. Or,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? Like if you're thinking about living a life of crime, like he's probably the guy that you want to model yourself after, right? Get out
Okay.
clean. He's probably like,
Kind of, he figured it out.
yeah, he
in a
figured it
way.
out, right?
Now,
Like,
do you remember where he was from?
I can't think about
No?
this. Yeah, I
Okay.
can't think about where he's from right now, but like he was only like one of the he was the guy. He was the voice of reason. He was the guy in between and Lucky Lucian. Like everybody that everybody else celebrated.
Uh-huh.
He was kind of like the guy that controlled. Yo, bro, don't shoot that up. We
Okay.
good, right? Like he could tell the shooters to chill,
Got
and they would
you.
respect it.
Okay,
right? Like,
he had that power
he
and
could get
authority.
people to come sit down, and they were respected to have conversations. He was able to. He created the syndicate.
Okay.
The syndicate was where he took out all the crime families were like at war and all that, and he was like, "Hold up, like it's bad for business. We got to get money. Let's sit
Okay.
down and let's organize it." Right?
So he saw the bigger picture.
Saw the bigger picture, right? So it was like, no, we all get money.
And
right?
that's-
You do this, you do that, we do. So that I was like, man, that kind of fit. Like
your perspective and
for
how
me
you saw
on how
things.
I see things
Yeah.
and on how I try to handle things and how I engage with everybody. You know what I'm saying? So I adopted that, and that was at 13. Nobody knew who Maya Lansky was
Wow.
in our culture, right? Like today, you got people mention. I don't think nobody really knew who Lansky was until like Jay-Z mentioned him in what's the soundtrack he did? American Gangster.
Okay. Party life.
Party Light, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's when people probably start like looking at the landscape. But I came into the game. But if you watch like the gangster movies, right, which a lot of the older dudes that not dudes probably like my age, then you would know.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like you would have had to watch some of the old, like 80s, early 90s movies to really. And he wasn't
in.
mentioned as much as the other guys.
Right.
But you knew
Which
the
is probably a
characters.
good thing. Probably why
Yeah.
he kept it clean.
Yeah. So
he
yeah.
was on the low with it.
Yeah, so that was he was an inspiration behind the name. So I just put Shiz Lansky
Okay.
together. It fit, it worked. Yeah, so I met Cal Akbar. He was one of the dudes. I mean, he's one of the dudes in the group. And my man King in high school.
Okay.
Yeah, so we used to have these like epic battles in high school. So like
Okay.
ninth grade.
The lunchroom. I used to
Yeah,
battle too.
yeah. So we in
I used to go
Alany.
down in the lunchroom.
And it was my man, this kid that used to live in my hood named Mel. And he had his other homie named Tim. They had a rap group. One was from out west. Tim was from out West Philly. Mel was from my neighborhood. And Mel was like big, he was like a teenager, but he was like a grown man when he was like,
Okay.
yeah, he was like one of them dudes,
I know
like a big
exactly
ass
what you're
grown
talking
man, right? So I'm battling Tim, right? Like we, battle started battling Tim. And then Mel just come with this big ass voice. Like he had this big voice. Now my voice light, right? I'm a little nigga at this time. Like I'm small, right? High school, I'm small. He just came out of nowhere, this big ass voice, like just dominating and shit. I couldn't even tell you what he was saying. I just know he was dominating.
Right. He had that
with
presence.
the vocals, like yeah. And then I don't even know Cal Akbar at this time. He just came out of nowhere and just like he had the big voice too, and he had the bars.
Was he from your neighborhood?
Nah, he from uptown.
Okay.
Yeah, so he just came out of nowhere and just hopped right in.
Okay.
I was like, yeah, that's my nigga right there.
Okay.
I like it.
So
He came to shut the shit down.
Y'all clicked up from there?
Yeah, and we just started. We had like it was like a collective of us, right? Everybody knew everybody that rap. Niggas that beat on the drum. We had niggas that just beat on the table.
Yeah.
Niggas used to get the lunch tray and all that. Like, we just had our corner. It was just like a cipher. Like, we would do that. Everybody come with their new rhymes. We had, everybody that had different styles and all that. Like, so we did that. And then, we just kind of exchanged numbers. We started to link up. We started trying to do like talent shows and you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. Anything that would pop up that was hip hop.
So at that time, did you get like out of your shyness, or did you still kind of have that with you?
No, I've always been reserved, right?
Okay.
Like, I tell people like on stage I blank out.
It's different. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Like I blank. I walk off stage, I couldn't even tell you what happened.
I don't remember. Yeah.
I just know the shit was live. It worked.
It was fire. They liked
that's
it.
all I know.
They clapped.
Like, yeah, like I go out there and it's like, oh shit, you killed it, did I? Like I don't remember what happened. So like, but again, I'm still reserved. I'm out there, but I'm still reserved, right? Like I played it back, let y'all do y'all. But yeah, so at the time we just started, and my man Kane, we just started going around just doing stuff. Then we formed a group called Dead Giveaway.
Okay.
And
how many members at the time?
it was three of us. It was just me and my man Cal Akbar and O'Kane. But he used to chat, so he was Trinidadian.
Okay.
So he bought like the dance hall vibe, like because at that time like you had a lot of a lot of that in hip hop, right? Yeah, like Mad Lion and
especially
like,
in New
all
York.
that type. Yeah,
And
so
it's a
we was
melting
like,
pot,
yo, like let's just
different
blend it
culture.
all in.
Yeah.
And so we formed DGA. We ended up hooking up with a producer named I'm sorry. I had a cousin named Bryant, and I never want to not acknowledge
Not
him.
mention him. Okay.
Yeah, because he, you know, and I kind of skipped over this early on. He don't want to introduce me to like NWA and
Okay.
all these things early on, and he had a group, and he had all the equipment. Like my uncle had some shit, but
Okay.
Brian had all the hip hop shit. He had the
Gotcha.
sampler, the keyboard, the
The
sound
drum pad.
modules. He had all that. The rolling drum machine. He had all that, right?
Uh-huh.
And he would pick me up every now and then and take me past and just show me how, show me
Okay.
stuff and all that. And I was like, damn. And so one day I just got the heart to ask him, like, yo, can I hold it?
Okay.
And he was like, yeah, as long as you leave it in your grandma's crib, stay in the basement, you bought everything down, sample, gave me everything. And I probably had it for like,
That's so important though. A lot of kids don't have access to that.
now listen, it was probably like $3,000-$4,000 worth of gear in the,
And he trusted you with
in the
it.
early 90s. And I'm like 14, 15, like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was like, yo, there you go. And I had produced, because I produced too.
Okay, and I didn't know that.
Yeah, because, wasn't nobody giving out beats, so you had to figure
had
the
to
shit out.
make it.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't get
That
nobody to give
makes
me a beat
sense.
to save my life.
Oh my goodness.
Like,
producers
yeah,
never wants to give up beats.
Everybody make beats today. It was like a few dudes that made beats back then.
Mm-hmm.
And if they did, they wasn't just giving you a beat.
It was hard to come by.
Yeah, so I had to
You had to learn how
I had to figure it out. So he taught me how to work everything. I figured out how to sample and all that.
Uh-huh.
And I created a song called Coming Down. And that was the name of it.
Okay.
I took like a Method Man sample.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, I be coming down and shit. I get rugged as a motherfucking
Mm-hmm.
carpet kid. I don't know why I made that the hook, but it sound dope at the time. Like, we took that. I got my man Cal. He came through. We recorded it.
Mm-hmm.
And we was just happy to have a song at that time because, like, just to be able, I had a 4-track recorder. I had everything, like, right there.
Right.
We recorded that. And then somehow it got to my man, Ade Alexander. I don't know if you know Ade Alexander.
No, but that's a fire name.
Yeah, Ade Alexander, man. He did a lot of work with with Kenny Gamble and them.
Okay. As a writer, producer, or
He
both?
manager, artist, producer. Ade did a
Okay.
little bit of everything.
That's decent.
Like, yeah, but at the time he was probably like my age trying to be a manager.
Okay.
Yeah, he was like my age and he was like, yo, I'm gonna manage you.
Y'all had vision.
Yo, straight up. And he was like, yo, listen, man, I
up?
got and this is where the history of it is so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
He brought in my man Malcolm. Shout out to Malcolm, Mad Boom. He was doing the beats. He was the only person I knew with to hear about a MPC was like, it was like a myth. Like everybody talked about him, but you never knew nobody that had him.
In real life.
Right? Like in real life. Malcolm had the shit in his basement.
Oh, snap.
Right?
Okay.
He had it in his basement. Like we would go over there. He took
So
my
that's where
beat.
y'all would record, or?
Nah, so he took
Y'all
my
would cook
beat,
up
he took
there?
the song, and he like redid it.
Okay.
Like same thing, redid it. We went and recorded at it's a studio on Fifth and like Tabor. I can't think of the name. It used to be there's a music store over there. Remember the name of the music store? Fifth and Alney.
Fifth and Island.
Fifth and Tabor. So it was a music
Okay.
store over there. We recorded it over there.
Mm-hmm.
And he kept telling me about his mom friend. Dad kept, yo, I'm gonna get it to my man, my mom friend.
Yeah, the
Told him we coming out there. So it was this dude named Jack Allen. So Jack Allen, he's the dude that signed KRS-One. He
What?
yeah, he dropped that first album, the Boogie Down Productions album. The first joint with Criminal Minded.
But I think he had the window with the
Yeah, the Criminal Minded album. That's Jack Allen.
Classic.
B-Boy Records.
Wow.
So yeah,
So wait, was it his record company or he was?
he was a distributor.
Got you.
Yeah, he was a
Okay.
record label. Like he was a record distributor.
So he was the plug.
He was
Your
a plug,
friend
yeah.
was the plug.
Yeah, so we 16, so this is like my first time in New York. He was like, listen, we're going to go meet Jack. We're going to get this contract. So that was my first deal
Oh, wow.
with Jack Allen. And, yeah,
At what age?
I was like 15, somewhere around there. Like, yeah, 15.
So your cousin is Brian? What was
yeah,
your
yeah,
cousin
no,
name?
yeah, Bryant, yeah.
Shout out to Brian.
Yeah, shout out to Bryant, man. Like,
Man.
I ain't take all of his advice, but, he definitely
Yeah.
bestowed it upon me, like, and gave me the tools.
The equipment to
Yeah, shout out to my
fulfill your
family.
vision.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it all just came together.
Yeah, it came together from there. So that was like the first deal. And then that ain't pan out. I think we was just like kids and we didn't really figure that shit out. And it was a single deal at that. It was a single deal. And I can't really quite remember why that ain't work out. But I remember going around because that was the thing. It was like, yo, we got a deal. We got a record shit is pressed up. We signed. Like, we ain't get no money. It was just more like a distribution deal. Like, I'm going to distribute your record, which was big. Like, it was big at the time, right? So that ain't really quite work out. So we just kind of kept grinding and still putting together music.
But it showed y'all that it was possible. Like, you already knew it was
For sure.
possible due
For
to
sure.
your family connection.
Yeah, for sure. My family just ain't really understand what it was. But so we did that. But at the same time, you know, I always stayed tapped in with my uncle. My uncle, he's a singer, he's R&B. So I tried to pull him back in, give him that updated flavor. You know what I'm saying? Listen, we got to do this right here. And you going to sing, I'm going to rap. And that's when Gilda Woods took the time to invest in us.
Okay.
Yeah, she took the time to invest in us in that project. And she bought Maurice Coates. I had no idea who the hell Maurice Coates was. He was the musician, like one of the musicians for Brendan and Tabulations, one of the writers also.
Okay. Now, is he from Philly?
He's from Philly.
Okay.
Yeah, he's from
so
Philly.
many gems.
Yeah, all legends, right? Like,
yeah.
I'm with this dude every day, and like because he, you know, he's before my time.
Right.
Like they're like, yeah, you know, he's like, all right, that's what's up, right? Like probably how the YN's gonna treat me,
Right.
Like
the reason I have this pocket.
yeah. So like, he would come through, and he was just doing stuff that I couldn't even like fathom.
Now, was he like playing
Musically.
keys or
He did everything.
production? Okay.
He could take any song. He knew chords so great, right? You could play a song for him. He could take the song, replay everything, use different chords, but give you the same sound, so that way you ain't got to worry about sampling it, so you can never get sued.
Right.
Like, he was
but it
that
still
good.
gives you that feel that you was,
It's the same
that you was
feel.
aiming for.
Same
That's
feel.
talent.
Yeah, he was, rest in peace to Maurice, man. He was definitely like a goat at what he did.
Wow.
So we did that, and then like, for some reason, I don't even know why that ain't go nowhere. I don't know if my uncle was being difficult or what. I forget how that happened. I'm still a kid at this time, right? So it's like,
so
I don't know.
The politics.
Yeah. So then that kind of, you know, fell apart. And then, again, we just kept it pushing. And my man Scoop, shout out to Scoop from Uptown, and Miss Q. They introduced us to William Hart of the Delphonics.
Okay.
Pops, Poogie. He's the lead singer, the writer. You know what I'm saying? Lala means I love you. Like anything.
Classic.
He's the guy.
La, la, la,
Pops.
la, la.
He introduced us to the Hart family, and at the time, Poogie was starting a record label, and he was trying to like. He was Mr. Hart was so ahead of his time. Right, but he was this older guy, but he was just like so ahead of his time that like he was doing like stuff in Arabic. Crazy. Listen,
What?
I swear to God. He was like, yo, I'm going to play this. He go in the joint, play it. He's like, play the drums. He starts singing in Arabic. He's like, yo, sample that. And I'm sitting here thinking like, yo, he wilding. Like,
Wow. And it sonically sound
no,
great.
but that's what they doing it like in the last 5 years, right? Like he was doing this like 96.
Okay.
Right? Like
Yeah,
96,
that's fire.
he's doing Arabic on hip hop. But, you know, for us being young, we like, yeah, that ain't really was popping right now. Like we don't really
You ain't know he was putting y'all on.
he was ahead of the game. So yeah, Pops gave us a lot. He had a studio in his crib. He took in so many like, you know, young artists from the Philadelphia community. He didn't care what hood you was from. He didn't care, you know, not that he didn't care what you was talking about, but he taught us about publishing.
Okay.
Had to set up publishing companies. He taught us about contracts.
Wow. So he gave you the education around
Yeah,
the
we be in
business.
his crib 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I know Miss Hart was tired of us being there.
Oh.
Like, you know, his sons was there. Shout out to Hadid, Youssef, rest in peace, Khalid, Champ from I think Champ on 100.3.
Okay.
I could be wrong. He on one of them radio stations, but
It was a safe space for y'all.
yeah, and so he would like, yeah, he gave us the opportunity to like really just kind of like record all the time.
Yeah.
Right, like he recorded. He went and bought all the equipment that was needed and let us come in there and do our thing. Introduce us to like, you know, local legends that was from like his era, right? Like, and even dudes like I think one of the first like major producers to like record us at that time was a dude named Bill Jolly.
Okay.
You probably know he wrote the Channel 6 theme song, right? Like but he's like, he got other records, right? I mean, he got other stuff. But he was like the guy, right? It's like, yo, yeah, Bill Jolly did that.
Okay.
Right? Like, and I'm like, who
and
Bill
these
Jolly?
are all people that you had access to.
Yeah.
That's
so,
cool.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you had a strong community, like a strong art community just baked in all around you without you even kind of knowing.
Yeah, we would just like, again, we would gravitate towards, like, if you know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, and then you just kind of keep going deeper down a rabbit hole. Yeah, and that's kind of like what happened to us. So we, you know, we did that, and we was over there working over there. But, you know, when you young, you like, what we doing? Like,
Right.
everybody signed, this person doing this, that person doing that. And, you know, so we was still, you know, we was real eager.
I was going to say, were you patient?
Yeah, you know, we was, patience,
Okay.
handle patience.
Not at that.
But so I got to double back because, you know, my man Kane and Ock, they from Uptown, Providence Street, and Cassidy lived next door to them.
Okay. So the two people that you just mentioned, were they your group members?
Yeah, they my group members.
Okay.
Yeah, so Cassidy lived next door to them, like literally in between them.
Got you. But see how everybody's just in proximity.
Yeah. So, like he used to come through and like, you know, watch us rehearse for our shows, and yeah, they would come and say, him and my man Lucky, they would come through and say their rhymes, and we just be like, yeah, all right, young boys, like, you know,
Okay,
because
so
they was a couple years younger than us. Yeah,
Got you.
a few years younger than us. But when we got to like Mr. Hart house, like, you know,
I was
kinda,
gonna ask, was he also a part of
yeah,
it?
he came over. Yeah, he came over
Okay.
there with us, and we kind of, you know, all, you know, mingled a little bit more. And again, like once you in that circle, you just kind of, you know, I know you, Ron. Yo, I got to connect over here. Yo, we going over here tonight, right? And it kind of
Okay.
became that thing. So, you know, once we gelled a little bit more,
And build that rapport.
build a rapport.
Yeah.
Cass started taking off on a cipher. I don't know if you remember the cipher on.
We on the cipher tonight.
Yeah, we on the
Gotta
cipher
be
tonight.
his
Yeah,
MC to rock
Rock the
the
mic.
mic. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like
Classic
97,
Philly.
97, somewhere around there. He started taking off on that, and we still
On the radio.
Yeah, on the radio.
Yeah,
He
for
started.
those who don't know.
He started. Yeah, the Boy B. Yeah, he was the Boy B at the time, and
Okay.
he started taking off on that, and we just used to just go through the city and, you know, that was it. And then I got my first cousin on my father's side is a guy by the name of Stevie G.
Okay.
Yeah, like if you Philly, you should know Stevie G. If you know music, you should know Stevie G.
Management.
Yeah, he so Steve at the time, Steve used to call me in, like I was too shy. I was shy, right? Steve called, let me hear something. I'm like, no, I ain't rapping right now. I don't feel like rapping. He's like,
Relax.
what you mean you don't feel like rapping? I don't feel like rapping. Right, I was just shy though. Like, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, Steve used to come up and visit me, and he was telling me about this artist he had named Beanie Mac.
Okay.
He was like, yeah, man, you know, I got this artist. He would, you know, he about to come out on Jay-Z album, whatever. And I'm like, he's just like hyping this dude up.
And you like, whatever.
I'm like, all right, but he ain't nicer than us though. Like, you know, that was my thought process.
Okay. I didn't know y'all were related, but
Yeah.
listening.
And then that Reservoir Dogs drop.
was it Monster
I
of a
was
Record?
like, you.
Who? That's who he was talking about.
Yeah, that's what you
Get my
talking about.
bars
Some of the
ready.
boy, that boy. Ah man, and that dropped, and I was like, oh shit. So now
It's real. It's
I
really
get
real.
more eager now because all right, you right here, you just got him on, you know, on the Hove album, right? Like, and Jay-Z album at the time. He was on Hove at the time, right?
Right.
Like, all right, like I gotta figure it out. So like they used to have like these legendary ciphers at Steve Crib.
Okay.
On I think it was 56 in Woodland, 54th. It was either 56 in Woodland.
Okay.
Where everybody would come through. Right.
Got
So
you.
you had major figures to be through there. Just about everybody from state property used to come through there. Like if you rhymed at the time, you was through there. Like
Okay.
yeah, everybody went through there. So I'm
That's
like,
dope.
fuck it, I'm bringing my crew. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I bought my crew. So, you know, Steve just kind of like, man, like, y'all niggas all right. Like, he was playing, he was family. You know what I'm saying? You're going to treat us like family. Like, so.
You gotta really prove yourself now.
Yeah, but I wasn't for it. Like, I ain't really want to do all that. Like, I was like, nah. So, you know, he was like, yo, your man nice. And, you know, he said it to me. He was like, your man nice, but talking about Cash at this time.
Okay.
Like, I was already, like, in the street, like, in the street lane as far as about what I was talking.
Okay.
And, like, Cass was like, he was just like a barbarian, man. This nigga, he used to put bars together. And,
Super punchline.
yeah, he was just super. Yeah, so he was like, Steve was like, nah, he gotta talk like you, but how he, you know, say the shit that y'all talking about, but like,
Let's switch it up a little bit.
yeah, how he do it, like he around it, he see it, like he need that, but you know, at that time it was like. The street talk wasn't really like the hip hop thing, right?
Right.
It was like you don't go in a battle with the street talk. You go in a battle, like
With that mentality, that
yeah,
battle
you with
mentality.
the battle
yeah.
mentality. So like he was like street. I'm a same way he is today. I'm a straight
Yeah.
demolish you, right?
Battle
That's all he
rap.
care about, right? Like
Right.
that was his thing. So he started the shift and incorporate, you know, what was around him, what he was saying, what he was involved in, stuff like that.
Okay.
And
So CBG basically gave him that critique.
yeah, he gave us a critique.
Okay.
You know, I like to give people they you know they flowers, man, and because everybody play like a
Yeah. A part.
you know a part, like right, whether it's big
Yeah.
or small, it's all big to me. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
yeah, he gave that critique, and we still not a group at this point. We just kind of running around. And
But wait, pause. Now, a lot of people say in order to like get in the game or whatever, you got to go to New York. Why do you think Philly don't have like that infrastructure for artists here?
you gotta go to New York. That's why.
But you just named like 50 like
Nah, 'cause
legendary artists. Why don't we have something
you,
here?
You know, the last major that we had here, and correct me if I'm wrong, was the Philadelphia International, right? And I just felt like, for some reason here, like maybe because like everybody just feel like they the nigga, they the talented, that like
Ego.
humbling yourselves, like and working together, just not gonna do it, right?
But you are literally describing how everybody worked together. So it's possible.
Not what here in Philly? No, but you had you had groups, right? So I could tell you about Mr. Hart and them, right? And then I could tell you about a bunch of other stuff that was going on. But in between, my homies is going down Erie from uptown because they know niggas down Erie. They got Erie niggas. Yo, my niggas is nicer than yours.
Okay.
No, nigga, my niggas nicer. Yo, tell Gillen them they ain't fucking with my niggas.
Right.
Listen, don't have my niggas come. Like
That's
niggas
how
come-
it is. That's hip hop though.
Yeah, but we should have been making music.
Right. But
We should have been making music.
That's
though.
the entry point for hip hop. It's
Yeah.
like it all starts from a battle.
Yeah, no, listen, you battle.
And then you
nice
click-
or whatever,
click
right?
up, and then-
but I think that like we get to so if
And
we
never get past the battle part.
if we battle, right? Like we battle, whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
it's already everybody talking crazy, right? We battle, and then I get on. What I need to make music with you for?
Got you. So that reach back's not there.
I don't need to. I'm here now, right? Somebody heard
Okay.
me and they pulled me over here, so now I'm gonna do me. And if you look at the history of it, that's what it is, right?
Got you.
Because now you got to work within the infrastructure of what they got going on, right? Like when yeah, that's just the way it worked. Like
Got
I
you.
just know
I see
like
what
the
you're
more I
saying.
got into the more I got into the business, when I started traveling, I started going to other cities, and and I'm hearing shit, and I'm like, even with radio and everything, like I'm just seeing like a different, like especially when I went south, like I'm in the Midwest, it's totally different. Like,
Okay.
people working together, like.
Right.
Yo, we in the studio. I can't tell you how many times me and studio Enos been in the studio together,
Never did
right?
a record.
We probably didn't do a record till like 2003 or 4, and he was at the Heart House with me.
Right. So, yo.
We was in our own space,
so,
doing our own thing. Like we had our own vision. Like we wasn't thinking about working.
With the youth, I try to tell them how important it is to network. Everybody's so cool. Nobody wants to talk to each other.
Yeah.
So it's like that's how you kind of get things done. You gotta speak. You gotta communicate, and that's a big barrier.
Yeah, listen, we talked. We was cool. We had like. But we was all in our different, like, I guess everybody had their own mission, their own crew, their own agenda. And I don't think that, like, we always, and I tell, and this is for the youth, if you watching, you know, you ain't always got to reach up. Sometimes it's best to reach over, right?
Right. Who's
like
next to you?
Everybody looking for the ladder, but sometimes you got to reach over. You know what I'm saying? You got, your resources are here. The person above you don't really need you.
Right. You got to see who's in alignment.
Yeah, like I used to tell producers, right? They'd be like, yo, send me the track. No, I'm holding this joint for Jay-Z. Nigga, you're never going to, they still got them beats.
Right.
Right, but they could.
Good luck.
Like, I'm right where, you're in my studio session.
Yeah.
Right? Like, yo, I'm here. Like, I could look, if you don't like it, we ain't got to use it, right? Just let's see what we could do with it. Nah, that's
I've been saying this for years. That's
they used to have the cases, the silver cases with the disc up in there and the DATs and all that. Used to, bro, you got the handcuff joint. What's in that case right there? That's the Jay-Z. Listen, I need that.
That's the vault.
That's the. No, I can't play them joints for you.
That's crazy.
They probably still got them.
Good luck with
right?
that. Yeah.
But it's that mentality. It's the and I don't even think it's the crab in the barrel mentality. I think it's the survival mentality. Like I feel like we are like in survival mode of trying to push. If we all can't go, right?
Probably a scarcity mindset.
Yeah, but the twist is like I feel like we all gonna fall where we gonna fall at. Like some of us gonna be stepping stones. This is just the reality of it, right?
Yeah.
Some of us gonna be stepping stones, and some of us gonna be like, one of us might be the guy.
Right. Everybody can't be the guy.
No, you might fall right up under the guy. You might it might just be a stepping stone for you to get to somewhere else you're supposed to go. You're not supposed to be the guy.
Right.
It wasn't in your cards to be the guy.
What if your purpose was to assist the guy?
That's it.
I mean,
yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about your experience being signed to Rough Riders before we get into your musical influences.
Yeah. So we signed with Rough Riders in 1999. We met my man Terrence Dean, which is Swiss Beats' father, here in Philly by chance.
Wait a minute.
By chance.
All of these like monumental chances.
Listen, this is by chance, right? Like when you play it, it's like a movie.
There.
Like it's like a movie.
So how did y'all meet his father?
Yeah, we just hit a lick, right? It's a Friday. No, we just hit a lick. Seriously, right? It's a Friday. We getting ready to go out the club to celebrate.
Which club?
I don't know. I don't even know where we was going tonight. It might have been like Chrome or something. I don't even know if it was Chrome at that time.
Delaware Avenue.
Yeah.
For the kids, it was a vibe.
We was getting ready to go there, so we was like, me and Cass went to the barbershop to go get a haircut, and we ended up getting cuts. This dude pull up in the Neon. Remember the Neons was out, right? Neons pull up in the Neon, double park in front of John. You can see him right outside. He walk in. He don't say nothing. He just look at everybody. And my barber like, yo, shout out to Sharp like, yo, the bull, his brother's on Rough Riders. I look outside again at the nigga Neon. Nigga wildin', right? So he like Sharp like, yo, my man and I'm rat.
Look at the oop right there.
So he like, yo, let me hear something. So initially we just like, yeah, like, who are you, whatever. So he like, yo, my brother's on Rough Riders. So then he pulled out like the snippet tape of the Locks and DMX. And so now he like showing us like, yo, like, yeah.
It's official.
Right? So I'm like, all right.
Like, don't judge this Neon right here.
Yeah, so I ain't gonna lie. I don't think I rap for him.
What?
Cass did.
So, all right. But the importance of being ready to rhyme, how important is that for the youth?
Yeah, I think you should be ready to run. Like, you know, your opportunity might be right there in front of you.
What if nobody run because of the car? Can you imagine what?
We was in a space where everybody was like somebody cousin, you know, it's like, it was like one of them things. Like, this was the beginning of everybody had a record label type thing. Everybody was somebody cousin or something. It was like that. Like,
okay.
So it was like, oh, all right, cool. Bro, you might be a part of the street team. You got the snippet tape, right? Like, you ain't got the chain on.
We
you
don't
ain't
know
got
if it's official.
Yeah. So I ain't disrespect him though.
Right.
It
You just wasn't
like
hype. But in Philly, that's the youth. They don't want to be Joe or like I think that's an issue too.
And I should have probably trusted Sharp like at the moment, you know what I'm saying? But Cass rhymed for him. No, actually, I did rhyme for him.
You rhymed?
I'm gonna tell you what happened. So I did rhyme for him. We both rhymed. And he was like, yo, I want y'all to come up and meet my brothers on Monday. So this Friday. He's like, on Monday, I'm going to call y'all. Come up and meet my brothers.
DNY?
DNY. Yeah, yeah. So he like, want you to meet my brothers, whatever. So I didn't give him my phone number. That's what it was.
Okay.
I didn't give him my phone number. Cass gave him his phone number. And like clockwork, bro called.
Oh, wow.
It's like, yo, what y'all doing? No, he called Cass. Cass called me like, Shiz, yo, what you doing? We got to go up. Yo, the bull called. He wants to come up to New York. So we took everybody that rhymed.
Okay. Field trip.
Like, we packed up in the car. Ready. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man C. C's drove us up.
The driver.
Yeah.
Shout out the driver.
Yeah, we all packed in, and we went to the office right there. I think the office was on, like, it might have been, like, 53rd and 8th Avenue or something like that.
Okay.
Could be 56, one of the two. But we went to the office, and why I was there. You know, let me hear something. And I had been to the Rough Rider office before that, and that's a whole other story.
With a different group of people?
With my homie, he a fashion designer. Like, he do fashion.
Okay, was this before or
this
after?
Was before. This
before.
was before.
Yeah. So did you start to put the pieces together? Like,
well, I knew where I was at because I've been here. Like, when we got there, I was like, oh, shit. Like, yeah, I've been here before, right? We met Eve up there.
Okay.
So, but that's a whole nother story. So we get to the office. I was like, yo, I'm telling them, I was like, yo, this is the office. I've been here before. Like, so then we sitting outside for a minute. So then Wild like, yo, come on in. So we go in. We rhyme for him. He was like, yo, man, y'all niggas is nice. Like, he's like, yo, but my brother in Miami, you got to wait for my brother to come back to
and
see.
And then y'all got to do it all over again?
Yeah, so we, so say this like October or something like that. Like, D came back maybe like a week later. We go up there. They doing videos. They on a run. Like, if you know them, they really in the streets. Like, I don't even think them niggas used to sleep.
Okay. Get into it.
Yeah, so they would, you know, yo, they over here. You got to be over here. You got to be over here. And you had to be there. Like, you had to be present or the shit wasn't going to happen.
Or you would miss the opportunity.
You would miss the opportunity.
Right. You got to be
it's
around.
Like, yo, yeah, my ego kidding. Like, yo, why these niggas got us waiting around? You know, TD like, nah, listen, you got to be patient. Niggas got shit going on. You got to wait, right? Like,
so I'm hearing a theme here. It's important to be patient.
Yeah, you got to be present, right? Like, ain't nobody gonna come find you. Sometimes you gotta, you know, you gotta go out. Like, if you don't got somebody like advocating for you, right? If you ain't got that cousin that's like, yo, my cousin the nicest, right? And he going out and he trying to find opportunities for you because you know you ain't gonna do it. If you don't got one of them people, you got to be present yourself, right? You got to get there, be in a room. Yeah, be next to the door, wherever it is you need to be. Like, you got to be where your thing is, right?
Yeah, position yourself, and you can't be too cool for all of you.
Nah, you can't be. You can't be too cool.
You can't be too cool.
So we did that for a while. D heard us. We battling, we rhyming, we battling. Like, we battled everybody. Like,
I was gonna ask, did they put? I've read Eve's book, and she talked about how she had to battle everybody. I was gonna ask, did you have a similar experience?
Yeah, we so the locks at that time. The locks. They ain't bet like. So I'm gonna say this, you know, as humble as possible, right? Like,
the locks was on my top 5.
No, they my guys. All of my guys. I ain't gonna front. Like, they my guys, but like, we was cooking everything moving when we got there because what we was doing.
No disrespect, but
now listen, the way we was like putting the bars together, right? Like, and you could go and check. Is easily you can easily check it. Before we got to New York, everybody was rapping like Beans.
Okay. Then when
right,
you
go
say
back to 97.
Everybody in Philly or everybody? Period?
Everybody. So it was like a transition. So you still had that bad boy thing going on, right? And then you had Beans coming in. Okay. So you was rapping like in one of those spaces, Mace, Bean, like that was your space, right? Even if you go back to when Fab first hit, right? Who he was being compared to.
Mace. But
right?
DMX kind of shifted the
DMX a whole nother
also.
animal. He's a whole nother conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is
I'm talking about the majority of people,
Got
right?
you.
Like,
Okay, thanks for clearing
the
that up.
majority of the gang was in. They was trying to figure out those spaces,
one or two
right?
pockets.
They was being players. They was talking about their Rolexes.
Right.
They saying all the fly
Flashy.
shit about their car. I'm talking about, yo, how I'm gonna rob you for your Rolex and take your car and throw it off the bridge, and so all the cool shit you saying ain't working.
Okay.
Niggas is like, yo, these niggas is wild, right?
It's violent.
Like,
Philly.
yeah. So it was, and they love that shit.
Rough, yeah.
Right, and they loved it. So like,
If it was on, y'all was on brand for the Rough Riders.
nobody that like we was coming across was like really ready for what we was doing. They got ready after, like, because then they started. Oh shit! They once you go through a battle with us, you trying to figure out what it is we doing.
Okay.
Like niggas had
They tweaking
punchlines every 4 bars. Our punchlines had punchlines.
Okay, yeah.
We was setting it up. Like there'd be 3 or 4 punchlines within 4 bars. Mm-hmm. Right? Everything rhyme and everything pieced together properly. Like no fillers. Like that's just what it was. So like it was easy for us to run through what was going on at the time because nobody's prepared.
Got
By
you.
the time they figured it out, like
They already
niggas
knocked out.
niggas, we got an album out. You know what I'm saying? There's something out already.
Right.
Like, so like yeah, we was
That's
like
dope.
the locks went around. They wasn't they went around with us. They was already on. But they they love what we was doing. Drag On he would hop in with us.
Okay.
And whoever Infant Cross was around, they would hop in with us. They was on Rough Riders. So
Okay. So I got a question.
What's
So before we transition into your top 5, I guess what would you say was like the most valuable lesson that you learned from that experience being signed?
the same thing I've been telling you is be present, right? Like
Okay.
you never know where your blessings are gonna come from.
Mm-hmm.
You never know what's for you if you're not there. Like I told you about the Eve record before. We talked about that, right?
Yep, that was on Players.
Ain't nobody called me. Nobody called me for that.
You was there.
I was in the studio. I was present. Like they would have the studio, every room booked out, and nobody would be there because the artist was being an artist, right?
Right.
We get to the studio 6 o'clock. I knew X probably wasn't
party.
coming to the studio. Like Eve was going, she big at this time. She get there when she get there. So we be in the studio. I'm trying to figure out how I could record a song in each room until niggas get there. Get cool with the engineers. Yo, let me record this joint real quick.
Right. You
Right.
here? I'm here. Why
So
not?
for that record, because I was there, and I asked the question. I was like, she walked in. I'm like, yo, you got something for this? She was like, nah, you got something?
Yeah.
And I told her,
Give me a second.
I told her, I was like, yo, but what I said wasn't really on brand for her. It wasn't. It turned into, I don't want your dough. I don't want your car. Don't want your jewels. Before it was the opposite. It was the opposite. Give me your dough. Give me your car. Give me your jewels. Like,
yeah, that's
saying,
not,
give it to me. She was like, I ain't really, like, I'm more independent. That's what I'm
Yeah.
about. So we went and
so
flipped
you
it.
tweaked it. Okay.
So we tweaked it. Yeah, Cass and myself, we tweaked it. And I had to record that shit right away. Yeah, let's throw that joint on. This before anybody get in the studio. It's just
Right.
her. Before DNY get in the studio. Yeah, let's record that joint, see what it sound like. Had in there. While I walked in, like, damn, that's crazy. Who did that? Yeah, I like this shit. You Philly niggas, right? Like, yeah.
That's what's up.
So that, like, just opportunities like that. I had on that particular album, the Chic, Redman and Meth song. I wrote the hook for that.
Which one?
And I did vocals on that. Two Tears in a Bucket.
Okay.
It's like the second or third song on there. And then the Swiss and Busta Rhymes record, Fright Night, on that album. Yeah, I co-wrote that. I wrote one of Swiss verses for that.
Okay.
But it's just like being, just being there. And I got
Yeah.
a bunch of like other like ad-libs and other stuff there just because I'm present.
So networking, as you were sharing your story, I'm hearing the importance of networking.
For sure.
The importance of being present.
Being present, you got to be there.
Ask questions.
Yeah, for sure.
Never be too cool.
Nah.
And go after what you want.
Nah, for sure. Like you gotta find your opportunity. You could be the nicest person. Nobody's gonna call you. They don't call you until when they gonna call you? When you're already lit.
Oh, yeah.
That's when they gonna call you because they know they need you. They don't know that they need you then. And you know what's crazy?
What?
That song ended up being a single. That ended up being a single. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Kiss
Now,
wasn't even on a record.
I was gonna
at first.
ask, did he come and do his verse while y'all were at the studio?
They
or
made it
later?
a thing. No,
Okay.
because there was no direction for the song. Like she literally walked down and was like, I don't know what I'm doing, right? Like
with this beat. The beat was already
the
there.
beat was
right?
there.
Yeah.
right? Like my man Teflon, he did the beat, he playing the beat, and as he playing, I'm just like playing around with it. And but they gave the direction for the song. It brought Kissin, which was their second, outside of X was their second biggest artist. He was up next, and gave them a moment that they probably. I'm not. There's a good chance that wouldn't happen for that record. Had
you're not giving them the direction. That's what's up.
There's a good chance.
That's all right, so let's get into your top 5 most influential albums.
Sure.
Going through your list, it kind of like took me back. I'm like, oh my goodness, I forgot all about these records.
Yeah.
So first up, you said Tribe Called Quest.
Yes.
The Low End Theory. They're like one of my favorite groups.
Oh man, so I think the album's like 91, 92, somewhere around 91 probably. But just looking at the landscape of hip hop at that time, it was like you had variety. And for some reason, like Tribe just stuck out.
Man, some reason.
Yeah, for some reason I can't.
Those samples, like the way they use jazz and hip hop.
I wasn't even a jazz head though, right?
I mean, you can't say that. Your upbringing. You talked about all the music that you was surrounded by.
It was more like
So
soul.
it resonated.
Yeah. So like, check the rhyme.
Sonically, it's just perfect.
Yo, when they stood up on the roof of the joint,
the black and white video.
Yo, I was like,
I want to do that.
I want to be like them, right? Like,
yeah, it was flash.
Yeah, So that album, I think that was like one of the first whole albums, like cassettes that I had. It might have been bootleg. I don't remember.
Okay.
But
don't bootleg, y'all. Support the arts.
So it was like. I might have been like 10, 11 at that time. Your parents wasn't taking you to go buy the hip hop album, so you got it how you got it. You know what I'm saying?
So I don't know if you noticed, I talked about this on the first episode, but I had a Tower Records on my block that lived on South Street.
Oh yeah, I would have been crazy over there.
My first cassette tape was Deluxe.
Was Deluxe?
Yeah. That's right. Money, Power, Respect.
Tower. I used to travel south to. We used to have to travel to South Street to get.
Street.
Yeah. But yeah, that was like one of the first albums that I locked in. Played.
Front to back.
Front to back, man. So I love Tribe. I just love with Q-Tip, like the contrast between Q-Tip and Fife, like and their chemistry. Yeah.
I used to get into like hardcore debates about this with one of my homies, a rapper, but I always thought Fife Dog was better.
The nicest.
Oh yeah,
Fife was nice. Listen,
he used to say it was Q-Tip. I'm like, what are you talking? Fife had bars.
Nah, Q-Tip had you had two things back then. You either had the voice or the bars. Like really, you had both, right? Or the look, like because there was a look too that people went for, right? Fife had the bars. Q-Tip had the more appealing voice.
He had the tone and he had the pocket.
Yeah. So,
but Fife had the flow and the bars.
Yeah, Fife. I'm gonna get Fife the bars. Yeah, Fife was the guy.
It was Fife for me. All right, you said Check the Rhyme. What's another record? What's another song off of that album?
Man,
that kind of like grabbed you and just pulled you in.
Yo, from top. What's the second? Oh, let me think. This is the second joint off of the album. I gotta. I'm bad with remembering names.
Is it Who Got
like stuff like bugging out?
Bugging out, yes.
Bugging out.
Microphone check, 1, 2. What is this?
Yo, listen.
Fife kicked it off. Like, Scenario was on that too.
Scenario was the
It was a compilation.
Yeah. Sky Pager, like.
Okay.
Like some. It was like they probably not big. They wouldn't be nowhere near big records today. But like for what they was doing like at that time,
it was monumental.
Like it was big.
So many artists like credit them for like their sound or like influence.
As they should.
Like, I think Outkast said Outkast one of their.
Like even to go back, and this wasn't on that album, but the Left My Wild and El Segundo. I ain't know what the hell they was talking about.
It sound good though.
But
and it felt good.
It felt good, and the video was dope, right? It was like for what they was doing at that time. Like I feel like that's when like hip hop was a lot more, authentic and free. And he's like, yo, just get the video camera. We're gonna stand by the side of the road and.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And just express ourselves.
I love what they brought to the table.
That stood out to me when you mentioned that album was the artwork.
Listen, that artwork is iconic to this day.
It's something about those colors.
I gotta explore. I never really explored like where they got the artwork from.
Okay.
But I want to do that. Like I'm gonna do that because I want to know like who's the artist. Like, cause somebody created that, and like I need to know, like, what made y'all go with that?
Yeah, I would love to talk to Q-Tip one day just to ask him about the concept. Like, where did that come from?
Because, like, album covers for hip-hop artists was more so, like, portraits. Like, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Back then, put you in front of the car,
Right.
against the brick wall or something. Like, you know
It
what
was
I mean?
not them at all.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah.
But
yeah.
it was so like, it just grabbed you. Like, I remember
yeah.
just looking at it and just being mesmerized.
Yeah,
by it.
that's still one of those pieces you could, like, frame today and just have on the wall.
It was
like,
giving art gallery vibes.
For sure.
Yep. Oh, wait, before we transition to your next one, speaking of art galleries, you also do photography. What made you want to explore taking photos?
So, like, I believe you should, so I just kind of like the music business. In short, like, I grew tired of it. It's way too much, for me, it's just way too much going on between, especially in hip-hop. Like, you got street culture, you got, the vultures in the business. It's just like a lot to deal with, and you got to navigate. And like when you realize who you are and where your principles stand and what you're not gonna let happen. Like, I'm not about to let nobody take nothing from me. Like, I know I came in understanding what publishing is and all that.
Right,
like,
you had that education.
Yeah, so it's like, if I ain't one of them people that's gonna be like, yeah, well, I'm gonna sign this and then, I'll come back on it, because you get what you negotiate, right? So, I just kind of, I stuck to that, and you run into roadblocks, because now I'm bumping heads with people for different reasons. So I was like, listen, it's time for me to transition out.
Gotcha.
And I believe you should be able to, kids, this is for you too. Define and redefine yourself as you see fit. Like, everything ain't got to be it. Like, this is it, right? Like, you can become a recording artist, get there, accomplish that, decide you want to be a photographer, do that. You could decide you want to go record another album and do the cinematography for it and become an engineer. Whatever it is you decide you want to do, like, you made yourself a rapper.
Right.
You can make yourself, like, you don't have to live in that one thing. You could be multiple things in your lifetime. So I always, been a free thinker and I always wanted to do what I wanted to do, how I wanted to do it.
Right.
When they told me, like, you can't produce and be an artist, I produced 90% of the shit that we recorded.
Okay.
And rap better than the producers that I was around if they rap, right? Like, what you mean I can't do it? And engineered.
Right.
Because I'm sitting there soaking it all up. And I'm working with Grammy Award winning engineers at the time. Like, why can't I do it? I'm going to show you I could do it, right? Like, do whatever.
So youngins, never limit your creativity.
Never.
Ever.
Yeah, never.
And people will try to convince you to.
It's good not to be, like, all over the place. But it's good not to limit yourself, because you never know where your blessings going to come from.
Right.
Right? Like, the music might be the stepping stone to introduce you to the person that work at the record label that's going to get fired from the record label and end up in L.A. somewhere, and y'all going to run into each other like, yo, remember me? Yo, yeah, what's up? What you doing? Hey, yo, I'm doing cinematography right now. Yo, well, I'm shooting movies over here, right? Like, you never know where the blessing going to come from.
Yeah, never be afraid to try something different.
For sure.
Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
All right, next up on your list, you got Real to Real, Grand Poobah. Let's talk about that one.
Yeah. Oh, man.
What made you pick Poob?
Listen, 360. All right, so that year, Mary J. Blige dropped, 411 dropped.
Yo.
What's the 411, huh?
What's
right?
the 411,
when he dropped that,
hun?
And then he dropped 360.
Okay.
Here comes a Poob, and I won't fake it. His flow.
Yeah, he was fly.
I never like today. I be listening like, yo, what the hell was Poob talking about? But the flow,
it sound and felt good.
Listen, man, like, he had, to this day, I still think he got, like, one of the most underrated flows.
It don't sound outdated.
No,
like, even now it's still right.
And he had the Tommy Hilfiger swag and the backpack. Like, he took the backpack. Like, the backpack meant something else before, right? But he had the backpack, the cool Nautica joint or whatever it is he had on. Like,
he was so fly, so ahead of his
time.
Yeah,
he was just a vibe. And then, what he did in and Brand Nubian, you know, also all this was kind of like happening at the same time. And I just loved his tone was right, his flow was right,
The production.
production.
Yo, them
Listen,
break beats was everything.
listen, right? Like that whole album, I used to run it top to bottom.
Nah.
Like top to bottom, man. Yeah, that was that was one of the. I think like when I really started, because that's I want to say that's 91 or 92. Might be 92, right? I could be wrong.
Don't tell him. We
Nah,
got
I
a
need to know,
trivia
'cause-
coming up. No cheating.
It's important, right? You ain't got to tell me, but it's important
Around
because
that
it's
time,
around
what
the
you was
time that
doing.
I was like, all right, I need to start letting people hear my rhymes. And
Okay.
Real to Real was like the beats I was writing to. Like I'm writing, because there was no instrumentals. Like I'm
Okay.
writing
To
his song, over his song.
over him rapping.
Over him rapping.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And I'm sure I mimicked like some of what he had going on.
Yeah.
Like in there, because I'm trying to figure it out. But yeah, that was that's why that album was so like monumental for me. Yeah.
Pooh was so underrated. He was fly.
For sure. Definitely one of the.
And then you know what? I feel like I love Meth and Mary. All That I Need. It's a classic.
Yeah.
But what's the 411? I think people sleep on it. Like
Listen,
that was.
He wasn't he? I feel like he's like the first rapper they tried to sing on a record. Like I don't know, I could
Right.
be wrong.
I think that was the first collab.
That right there was special. Like to this day,
That joint is classic, and it's
it's
so
special.
people don't bring it up that much. That
I don't
joint
know why. Like that was
was a record.
yeah.
All right, so next up on your list, you have Dr. Dre, The Chronic.
Listen, I feel like everybody should know why The Chronic is special.
Why is it special?
It changed first of all, like the production on that album was crazy. The skits crazy. Song like this during the LA riot, time, and like the way they weaved everything. Like I'm just figuring out where they got some of the sound bites.
Where they got it from?
Yeah, it's like actual like news reports and stuff. Yeah,
shit.
it's like
What was going on around them at that
this
time?
is the magic of the internet. You start figuring this shit out because I'm like,
Right.
yo, how'd they get that? Right? Like, start figuring it out. But I think what he did sonically with that album, like, was like, it's still a match to this day.
It's a masterpiece,
Right?
sonically.
It's a perfect album.
Yeah.
Like perfect album. There's only a couple, like, maybe like 2 or 3 hip hop albums I would consider perfect. That's one of them.
Okay.
Yeah. All around perfect.
What are some of the records off that joint that you would say stood out the most?
All right, so when I was a kid, I was immature, right? So when you heard bitches ain't shit but hoes and dum 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 dum.
Yo, that beat
Bitches
was
ain't
so
shit but hoes. Oh shit! Like what?
The do 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 do. Can't front on that joint.
Yeah. Listen, man, it was just way too many joints on the album. Like,
Yeah,
way too many joints on the album.
G thing.
Gee, that was the set it up. In the videos that came with it, Mr. Buster, and you got Easy E running around.
Oh yeah.
Mind you, I'm there for that
that's
whole
an early
beef.
disc joint too.
Listen,
like
I was
beef.
going to pick one of the NW. So at heart, I wanted to pick one of the NWA records because that's where it started at.
Yeah.
But like while those albums were perfect at the time that they came out for what they did, that album was just perfect all around.
Yeah.
Like that album was perfect all around.
Yeah.
Every like he had the sauce for that album. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely had the recipe.
Yeah.
So, do you know where you were around?
Oh yeah,
that time period?
it's like 1990, right? 1990.
Don't tell him.
I think it's 1990. Yeah, I was out running around, probably like stealing bikes and I don't know, breaking in, stealing cars. It was probably doing all types of stuff at that time. Like,
What's the statute of limitations?
No,
you wasn't.
listen,
Don't do
I
that,
was
kids.
bad. Allegedly. I was a badass kid sneaking into house parties.
Yeah, it's funny.
Like that's when at that time it was like because it was this chick named Dana that used to live a couple blocks from where I lived at, and she would have these legendary like house parties, dollar parties, right?
I used to do the basement.
I was probably way too young to be in it because it was like all the older teens in there. Listen, all they cared about was $1, right? But these are the records that they was playing in there. So so I used to be around. Yeah, and and we were outside. Like our parents loved us and cared about us, but we was outside. Like we on the steps, but they ain't coming outside to check. So
Right.
we was
Y'all was just exploring.
Yeah, we was exploring. Yeah,
Nah.
for sure.
All right. So next up on your list, you have Jay-Z, Reasonable Doubt.
Reasonable Doubt. So when Hove hit,
Classic.
right? So okay, for me, and where I'm at in that period of time, I like writing as a writer, like as a rapper. I don't really know what to rap about. Right at that time, like I'm like, yeah, what I rap? Like I'm trying to, I'm listening.
You got to find your voice as an artist.
I'm listening to what they doing over here, 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 and it was like, yo, this sound when that dropped, it sound more like the pocket I wanted to write in because it was like Hove was like witty, but he wasn't talking no like a lot of artists at the time from New York, and they was doing like even Grand Puba, like they gods in the earth and the what I'm saying, 360 was the record, right? Like it was. I don't know what y'all talking about, right? Like, so when he came and he was talking like a little bit more,
relatable.
down to earth, relatable stuff. I was like, yo, I wanna write like that, and like one of my favorite songs off of that album is The Evils.
The Evils, dear God, on say.
Like,
why is
that's
that
a
one of your
master
favorite?
class in like writing right there. Like that,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta go through, and I don't know if people like really like take the time
To listen.
Yeah, like I listen to the meaning of things,
Right.
and I write that way. So it's like, or the perceived meaning of things, right? Because it's art, right? So like when I'm thinking about like what he's saying in the song, I'm like, yo, I wonder if everybody, yo, you get that, right?
Right.
And nobody reacts to it the way that I react to it. And I'm like, yo, that's a perfect, like, you know what I'm saying? That's
Right.
Yeah, so like, I wanted to
that's a
write
great
like
song.
that.
Right.
Like I wanted to write to where like, if you there intellectually to get it, it's street shit. But if you there to get it intellectually, like
The
it's either gonna
lessons.
click with you or not, or it's gonna click with you 10 years from now. Like
Right. It'll resonate when you find yourself in that
when you
situation.
find something in space, right? Like so that shaped like the how I wrote, right?
Okay.
Instead of just saying things, like figure out a way to say things that make people think.
Yeah, it made you want to write with intention.
Intention, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely
that
with
makes
intention,
sense.
yeah.
What's another record?
Over there?
Yeah.
Oh shit. You got ain't no nigga like I love the commercial. Like you know what I'm saying? You got that.
The
Feeling
Foxy
it.
Brown record. That sonically, the production on Feeling it was just so different.
Yeah.
But the way he attacked it was crazy.
Yeah, you got it's so many like to me that's a perfect album. I like for where it was at was a perfect album. Like you know what I mean? And that's just for my artist subjective, and everybody got their opinion on what's perfect, and to me that was another album that was perfect. Like
Okay, just front to back.
Front to back, yeah. I think that's
Okay,
Yeah.
Jay he was teaching on that, Sean. Even
For sure.
for me, it was the title. From the title, it made you think from beginning to end, like starting at the title, Reasonable Doubt. Like what?
I don't think I was like the title really. I don't even think I cared about the title at the time. I don't think that it like really clicked, like the meaning of it or the perceived meaning of it until I was like a little older. Like,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When I realized like, all right, what he into, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, all right, reason. Got it.
Shoot, lessons all through that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jay was on my
These
top
mean
5 too.
streets,
None of my friends speak.
We all trying to win, but then again, right? Maybe it's for the best though. You know what I'm saying? You saying too much, they trying to get you touched. It's real.
Yeah.
Some say illegal is the easy way out, right? You can't understand the mechanics of the underworld. Like,
Yeah.
9 to 5 is how you survive. I ain't trying to survive. I'm trying to live it to the limit and love it a lot. Like, yeah.
He was talking.
Right? Like, and wasn't nobody talking like that at that time. Like, yeah. And that's early Hove. Like,
Yeah. Alright, that was a great pick. So next up on your list, you have Nas, Illmatic.
Illmatic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us about Illmatic.
Yeah, so like Illmatic, one of them albums where like, again, so Nas, so I just credited Hove for that writing style, right? It's probably I think Nas is the more so like the father
Of their style.
of that, right?
Yeah.
He's a father of it. But sonically, what he did, what was done on that album was different.
Jay or Nas?
No, what Nas had going
Okay.
on, was different.
Mm-hmm.
The one like, and the type of songs he's writing, right? Like One Love,
Right.
the storytelling. You know what I'm saying?
The
Like
meaning behind
the
it.
meaning, yeah. Like, I
That's,
just wasn't. I don't know what. I don't know if it was like some type of delay with me. Like, it's like, yo, how y'all writing like this? Like, they young. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell is y'all thinking about? Like,
and I think Nas, he dropped out of school too. Like, just
listen,
brilliant for no reason. Like, just born brilliant.
Man. Like, when I was watching a documentary and they was just talking about like how old he was and where he was at, and
A teenager.
I was like, yo,
Talking
son,
like
I thought he was like in his 20s. So
Right,
like,
but you know how much life experience you have to
there's some projects
go
in New York projects different, right?
inhumane
It's like,
living
yeah,
conditions.
it's accelerated, accelerated living.
Old soul, like
Yeah,
must have seen
so-
a lot
Yeah, and
to
then when
have
you
that wisdom. Mm-hmm.
and then when I found out that he had his pop playing on the album, and
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like.
yeah.
That life's a bitch and then you die. That's
That's
why
how
we
we-
get high. Like that
Because
was
you never know when you're going to go.
yo a hook. That was the hook. Like that was the hook you wanted when your homie came in. It was like y'all got a hook. Not that, but it's like you wanted something that worked like that. Like oh shit, that
Yeah.
everybody gonna say and feel. Right? Like
But that, like, just the lyrics is like, no hope. Like, life's a, and then you die. So what you gonna do in
listen.
between time?
That-
How you
I-
gonna make it meaningful?
I still think Nas, if you watching this, man, love you, bro.
Oh man,
But we need that.
we love you.
We need that AZ Nas album, man. Just do it. Like you
Oh
gave us.
man, that would be amazing.
You gave us, the King Disease and all that. We appreciated
Thank
it. You know what I'm
you.
saying?
Thank
And
you.
all the other volumes that you gave us, all, impeccable albums, man. But just give us that, bro, for the fans,
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
culture.
I would appreciate that.
You know what I'm saying?
I spoke about this on the first episode, but I was able to go to Vegas and see him do all the records from Illmatic with the
Dope.
orchestra.
Dope.
It was amazing.
Dope.
Yeah.
I met Nas. I had, so like, he was somebody, like, I always got comparisons through the two influences that stuck out for obvious reasons. But I met him, like, I'm in a cast studio session. Swiss invited him over. I don't even know we don't know he coming. He just pop up. I look up. And he's
What?
just there, and I'm like, oh shit.
I would have had a heart attack.
I'm in a
Why
booth
you
writing.
recording or?
I'm in a booth writing.
Okay, no pressure.
And he
It's
walking
just
in calm and
Nas
shit,
in the
like-
stew.
What's up, God? Like, it's like,
No
what's up? He
pressure.
like, what y'all working on? I don't even want to rhyme for this nigga.
Yeah,
I'm
like I quit.
yeah. But then I had recorded. I think the last major album I was on was Cass' album Bars. And he heard that and like he approved of that. So I was like,
That's dope. Yeah.
yeah. So that was dope.
I got a funny I met Nas story. I was in high school.
Nice.
He came to Tower Records. So I stood in that long line. My sister took me. I was so young. I just wanted to meet him. I couldn't buy his music because I couldn't listen to hip hop. So he was like, where's your thing so I can sign it? I was like, oh, I can't. My dad said I can't. And he was
Yeah.
like, what? So I think he said his brother, like I left the store. He sent his brother to give me a shirt. So I wore this shirt forever with Nas on it. What?
You had to hide it in your book bag and wear it when you got to school.
I wore it to dance class. It was a spaghetti strap
Dad,
shirt.
where you get that
So
shirt from?
fire.
I don't know. I just
Yeah.
found it. Like,
And I used to make
That's
up this song called I'm Special because I met Esco.
yeah.
And I was
Nas
singing
is-
all around high school.
Yeah, Nas is one of them. He one of them ones, man.
Super
like,
good.
Yeah, he one of them ones.
Yeah. But so you said One Love. I remember watching that video. I kind of used that video a lot to kind of get my students to kind of tap into their creativity when it comes to storytelling. I remember just watching that video, and what stood out to me the most was seeing the young lady with the stroller get struck by the stray and wanting to hear like her story.
Like the whole, like I gotta look at the track list. Remember the names of the songs don't really work out for me, but from top to bottom, the only, like I ain't really care for the intro.
Yeah, me either.
It
I
was
think
alright,
that
it was
was
alright.
the only thing that kind of like threw it off.
I would skip that,
Yeah,
right?
you can skip
But
the
New
intro.
York State of Mind, classic.
Bro,
Life's a Bitch, classic.
the production on that was crazy.
Like, The World Is Yours, classic.
Whose world is
Halftime, classic. Memory Lane,
this?
classic. One Love, classic.
Super classic.
One Time for Your Mind.
Yeah.
Listen, come on, man. Like,
I mean,
represent, right? And it ain't hard to tell.
It ain't hard to tell.
Like, where you get, like, yo, you wrote all those
Yeah.
for one album?
Your first joint,
Your
though.
first joint?
It's out the park the first time.
Yeah, that's one of them ones, man. Like, you can't.
Yeah. Another album cover that was like brilliant.
Yeah, to this
art-wise.
again at that time. I like why you got your like he was ahead of his time with that one.
Yeah.
Right, like yo, you got your baby picture on there, cool with the projects behind you. Like,
Right.
who thought of that? Right?
Yeah, like where'd you get that from? But that when I was younger, when I came across that, it drew me in too.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you don't have to be grown to have a voice or to share your perspective. So that's what I got out of it.
Yeah, that's an interesting way to
It connected with me.
to,
right away.
yeah, to connect it. Like for me, it's like when I look at it now from just like an art perspective. There's a couple different right. Like you look at what he in front of, right? Like to come up out of that,
Yeah.
to be
The
able to come up out
eyes.
of it, right? Like the eyes, like he got his back to it too,
Right.
Like it ain't a profile shot. It's he got his back to it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's and then when you look at his eyes, you know what I mean? Like
he don't look happy either.
Yeah.
Look like he already seen a lot as a youngin.
But that wasn't I don't know who took that picture, where they got it from.
I think it might have been one of his school pictures or like a class picture or something like that.
It was in line for that. Like that was the alignment for that. Yo, you gonna take this, put your good shirt on, take that school picture. Mom knew that was gonna be the album cover. She ain't know. God told her like, yo, make sure you got that shirt on. Right?
Purpose, yeah.
Yeah, you got to make that, and it worked, and it came back. And
That album is like really classic.
yeah,
Super dope.
that was a good one too.
All right, so that was your fifth one. You did an honorable mention, and It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back by Public Enemy.
Yeah, so that like at that time. So when I look at Public Enemy, right, and you think about what hip hop is, right, from where hip hop started, right, like hip hop is like this rebellious movement for freedom of speech, right, and you had groups like X Clan, right.
Okay.
They was, pushing the whole Back to Africa movement. They had the beads on and all that, right? Like they ain't really connect with the masses, right?
Okay.
Like I used to look at them like,
It didn't
boy, they
translate.
wildin', right? Like what's up with them, right? They ain't translate. And then you get like, a Public Enemy, right?
They look like
They bring
all
in
my
it-
cousins in North Philly.
They bring in the teachings
Doing illegal things.
of Louis Farrakhan and fight the power, right? Like the freedom of speech. They pushing the freedom of speech thing, right? Like Luke did it, but like Luke
In
was
a
talking
different
about it in a whole
direction.
different way,
Yeah.
right? Like, but they like
It was
pushing
revolutionary.
a revolutionary black agenda. Then it's like, oh shit, so you can have a voice and say some shit that matter.
And look fly.
Look fly.
Be fashionable. It's cool.
They had the starters on with the, you know what I'm saying? The fit. I mean, with the
Chuck D was fly.
Flavor Flav was like, yo, I appreciate. You know what's crazy?
What?
And this might be unpopular.
He's
Thought,
classically
right?
trained, I think.
Flavor Flav
Talented.
is the better lyricist.
Wait, what? Hold on. Wait a minute.
Go back and listen.
Hold on.
Go back and
The
listen.
better lyricist? I thought you were gonna say artist as in like playing instruments.
Nah,
production and
go
stuff.
back and listen to Flav.
He had bars?
Flav had bars.
I don't know. Y'all gotta
I,
weigh
listen,
in.
I said it's an unpopular opinion.
You did.
Right?
I
Listen,
respect it.
Chuck
I respect
Chuck
it.
is Chuck. Like you can't take. Chuck had tone.
Yes, he had that presence.
Like you can never replace what Chuck had going on.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Flav's personality
It was that balance.
But I feel like it overshadowed his
His
actual artistry as a right. Like, I'm listening to Flav. I was like, yo, this nigga nice. Like,
Okay.
like he was nice. Like, you gotta. I'm telling you, go back and listen and just listen for Flav.
Okay.
We all listen for
back.
Chuck.
I'm gonna go back.
Go back and listen to Flav and be like, you know what I mean? And then, you know, just the way they was, you know, their ability to like, the way they, I don't know how they came up with the way they did their ad libs and when they threw Flav in and not and.
The sound
that,
was so
like,
disruptive.
Yeah.
And I went back to listen to it. It was just like, what?
Yeah. So
this?
you had,
The sonically, it was like noise, but beautiful noise.
Yeah, listen that.
Yes, sirens and.
And you think about the time that like what else is out at that time? I think that was it's 88.
I just want to say NWA was, what time period was that?
It's around the same time.
Okay.
Maybe a year earlier, or a year later, somewhere in the same time, right? Mm-hmm. But they got a whole nother. So they they got a whole nother sound. Because even when Ice Cube came, remember when Ice Cube came and was doing records with Public Enemy? I mean, with Public Enemy after he left NWA, he came. You know that?
No.
Okay. So
He
after the
teaching,
beef,
y'all. He teaching.
He did a whole album with.
What?
Yeah, he came over to the whole album with.
I had no clue.
Yeah, on the East Coast when he had Lynch Mob and all that, right?
I've heard of, that was his. Was it his label or group?
That was his group.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, when he came, he had a whole nother sound. He had the Public Enemy sound.
Okay.
Right, as opposed to the NWA sound. The NWA sound was a whole nother.
Now that you mention it,
two different sounds.
His delivery is a little Chuck D-ish, if I like sonically.
Yeah, and then if you go back and listen to, so like they was both pushing. I mean, both groups were like in the freedom of speech thing, but it was like, you know, fuck the police. 100 Miles and Running was like way different. It was more like Chuck was like preaching. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And NWA was like the niggas on the corner talking shit to the cops.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It was like two different like
approaches.
Yeah, two different approaches to it. Like, yeah.
But it was similar.
Yeah, similar.
The message was similar.
Yeah.
I never even put those two together. That's dope.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna get into the trivia. Are you ready?
Man.
The If It Wasn't for Art trivia. So these questions are based off your top 5.
Okay.
So I created them just for you. You ready?
All right, I got my cheat sheet.
All right. So this one is connected to your tribe
Okay.
pick. What year did Low End Theory come out?
I think I'm gonna go with 92. I think it was 92.
It was 91.
91?
That's what I
That
found
was
on
close.
the
All
internet.
right, yeah, it's cool.
It's close though.
I'll take that hit.
All right. So name every artist featured on the classic Scenario in order.
Wow.
I might have got him on this one, y'all.
In order?
In order.
Oh,
Who kicked
man.
it off?
Yo, you can't do me like that.
All right, if you can't get them in order, let's try
Because
to
now I
name
gotta
them.
play the song. I gotta do the song in my
Yeah,
head. I was gonna be here for a minute.
What?
What was that?
What do you know?
Was
Is
that
it
Charlie
a-
Brown? That was Fife?
No
Charlie?
helpsies. No helpsies.
Oh no. No, I'm gonna just name them like who was on it. I
All
can't
right, go
on.
ahead.
So you had
had
Fife,
Charlie
you
Brown.
had Charlie Brown, you had Q-Tip, you had Busta,
One more.
you had what's my man's name? I can't think of his name right now.
I might have got him, y'all.
Oh no, hold up. It's the other Quest
No
Bull.
helpsies.
The
No
other Quest Bull.
helpsies. All right, I'll give you a hint. You need a hint?
Nah, I know it. What is it? No, go ahead.
You need a hint? Okay.
Yeah, whatever.
He wasn't with Quest. He was with Leaders of the New School.
Oh, so it was Dingo?
Yeah.
Dingo, right?
It was
Yeah.
Dingo too. Yeah. All right, y'all. I had to help you out. It's cool.
Listen. Yeah, it's like you ever prepare for the test, right? And then you get in front the anxiety of like
No pressure. No
somebody
pressure.
like, yo, what's 2 + 2? I don't know.
No, I know this.
I know this. It's 2 + 2. Like, yo, you really thinking about this?
Like, how do you spell the? Like, wait, T. I know this.
Is this a trick
ever-
question? Did she mean DA? T-H-E, like, which,
Tahiti.
T-H-A, like, T, like, what do we, yeah, I don't know.
All right, the next one is associated with your Pooba pick. You ready? Who was Grand Pooba signed to?
Grand Pooba was signed to Tommy Boy.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
All right, which two clothing brands did Grand Pooba shout out on the classic hip hop soul collaboration? What's the 411 with Mary J. Blige?
I know one was Tommy Hill. He was always shouting out Tommy Hill. The second one, Jabot.
Yup, you got
Jabot,
it. I
yeah.
thought I was going to stump you with that one.
Jabot, no, Jabot. I was talking about his Jabot jeans. That was like,
He was ahead of his time.
yeah.
So fly. All right, this one is in connection to the Chronic. Snoop raps about the importance of safe sex on which song off the Chronic?
Snoop rapped about safe sex.
Uh-huh.
He put the on his Jimmy. No, that was
Let me know if you need a hint. I might have got him, y'all.
G thing. Nothing but a G thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember the lyrics, like, cause
Yeah.
yeah. You know, when
Ain't
you
no
got
good enough to get while I'm up in it.
I take in so much music and information, right? Like sometimes it does you a disservice because like my brain literally trying to work through like
Right.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of being an artist. So.
Yeah.
All right. This is with Dre. Who broke the bro code and had Snoop in his feelings in his verse on Just Ain't the do. It was the last verse.
Who broke
The bro code. Somebody broke the bro code and was the reason for the hook. Just ain't, but he was mad. That was probably a true story. Somebody took his girl. Who took his girl?
I can't even remember.
That's a hard one.
Yeah, I know the verse. I'm gonna have to say the whole verse in my head to get to it. Right.
That's funny.
I'm gonna take the hint on that one.
All right. He's related to him. I think they cousins.
Daz.
Daz. Yeah. Daz took his girl
Yeah.
in that verse. Yeah. Snoop was mad in his feelings.
Yeah.
All right. This one is a Jay-Z Reasonable Doubt question.
Okay.
Name the first song listed on Reasonable Doubt. Let's take a guess. It's my favorite Jay-Z song.
The first on Reasonable Doubt.
The first song. Let me know if you need a hint.
Yeah, give me the hint on that one.
It's a feature, and the feature also featured on Grand Pooba.
See, I was gonna say Can't Knock the Hustle, right? But
It
for some
is.
reason, like I had Feeling It in my brain.
Feeling it?
I think Feeling's like number 2.
It is like,
Number 2, number 3, something
yeah,
like
it's
that. Like,
that would have been a cool kickoff record though. But yeah, it's Can't Knock the
Because
Hustle.
you know it was Feeling It was the lead. I feel like Feeling It was like the lead single for the album.
It was one of the singles. Yeah, I remember the video.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's Can't Knock the Hustle, which is my favorite Jay-Z song of all times.
Yeah, that was a joint.
Yeah, this makes you want to get money.
The story about how that came about was crazy too.
What?
Dame Dash pulled up on Mary with a brown paper bag.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that. To sing the hook.
Shit, I ain't even know they was putting a song out. Like,
Listen,
Right.
what y'all need me to sing?
it turned into one of them joints. Like, yeah,
That's funny.
crazy.
All right, this is another Jay-Z Reasonable Doubt question. Which New York DJ produced Brooklyn's Finest? Let me know if you need a hint.
Was that Clark Kent?
It was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to the DJ
Yeah, Clark
Clark
was a
Kent.
beast too.
Nah.
Yeah,
All right, so this is Nas. Illmatic, you ready?
I think so.
Who was the only feature on Illmatic?
That would have been AZ.
AZ. Yeah. All right, name the 2 songs off Illmatic that were produced by MCs.
You had One Love. Mm-hmm. And then I know Search got a joint on there. I'm trying to.
Oh, That's a bonus then.
I could be wrong, but I feel like Search got a joint on there.
Okay, I was thinking of Pete Rock.
Yeah, so Pete Rock was Whose World Is I mean, The World Is Yours.
Yeah.
Right.
It's mine.
But I
it's
feel
mine.
like
It's mine.
I feel like I could be lying.
What?
I could be lying. I feel like Search had a joint on there, but I might be lying.
I mean, it's possible. Did he
Yeah.
do? No, who did Live at the Barbecue? I heard that was like his
That
first
was
breakout. First.
Live at the Barbecue was Large Professor.
Okay, you got to
Yeah, I believe it was Large Professor.
let us know in the comments, y'all,
Right.
who it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know where I would be if it wasn't for art. So I like to ask my guests,
Oh man.
where do you think you would be if it wasn't for art?
Yeah. So I don't. Yeah. Prison wasn't far away, man. The grave wasn't far away. Like I feel like when you don't have an outlet to be able to express yourself, like you're gonna find yourself. You'll find yourself in many different places, right? So like art gives you the opportunity, whether it's music, the visual arts or whatever, it gives you the opportunity to separate from your world, right?
Okay.
To look at it from a lot of us live in our world, right? We don't get an opportunity to
Take a step back.
take a step back,
Yeah.
right? We still in our world, but to step back and actually visualize what's going on
And see the bigger picture.
to see the
like
bigger
you mentioned
picture,
earlier.
right? Like, yeah, we so, up close with everything. So it gives you the opportunity to kind of step back. Like if you paint, you're going to take pictures in your neighborhood, right? You're going to see shit in your neighborhood that you never really paid attention to
Right.
before. Or you'll see it in a different way. Oh, damn, I didn't know that the sun, hit the, oh, that's actually beautiful.
Right.
And these houses ain't really like hood houses. Hood houses shouldn't. These are big 3-story colonial cribs. Like,
Prime
you know
real
what I'm saying?
estate for real.
Hold up. Who lived here before? When did it become the hood? Right. You start asking yourself questions. Right. Like, and then you start thinking about mind state. Like these are all things that can come from art. Like even with music. Right. Like you into hip hop, especially like your kids today. Y'all hearing songs as resamples or resamples, and samples like.
It came from somewhere.
Yeah, you hear, yo, I like that, right? Because your artist is coming from art. Somebody use it, you like it, you rhyme over it, and then you in a store and you hear the shit like come up on a John, you like, hold up, yo, I thought listening, nah, bro. You know what I mean? You 2-3 generations late. Like
Right,
that
you
came
hear the
out,
original.
Yeah, so it's like now that might open you up to exploring music that you and the homies wouldn't be exploring. You know what I'm saying? So and give you a different perspective and take you into different rooms. Like music took me into different rooms that I probably wouldn't have went. I probably wouldn't have went in because I was too cool to go in. Photography got me in rooms that I had no business being in. Right, like without it. Right, like it's like I don't know how I get there without it.
Right.
Right, like I'm taking
It was a
pictures like
stepping stone.
before Harry Belafonte passed. Right, I'm in my grandma loved Harry Belafonte. I always saw, telling stories. Man, bro, taking pictures. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, yeah,
beautiful.
but photography got me there. Right? But music got me
To
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and the person that pulled me in that room was a person that I met in music.
Right.
Right? So it was like, I couldn't have planned. I couldn't have said, yo, you know what? 20 years from now, I'm going to be a photographer and you're going to introduce me to Harry Belafonte. Like, I couldn't have planned for it, right?
Yeah.
I built a relationship over here. That took me to here. I decided to make this move here, and that reconnected over there, and that created the opportunity. So, if you want to give yourself opportunity, if you really want to explore, something outside of what you think you know, art, man, that's where it's at.
Nah, support the arts, man.
Yes.
So, Sean, it's not easy for artists to continue on. We hear a lot of no's, get a lot of rejection. If you could share maybe some words of encouragement or like a quote, what would it be?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, you gotta believe in yourself. Like everybody, as humans, man, we all trying to figure it out. Everybody's not gonna see what you're capable of or who you are. You gotta know who you are, You can't get upset when somebody else don't see it. Like, we give people too much credit sometimes. Like, we think people got vision, right? Like,
Right.
we want, you know what I mean? Like, we want somebody to see it or somebody to hear it. If you go into the, you know, the history, if you just look at any art, like a lot of artists, most times, like, we always hear about the artist that was discovered. There's a whole lot of artists out here that wasn't, like, by the time they was discovered, they already been through hell, right? But their self-belief is what kept them pushing. So you gotta, nobody's gonna believe in you like you, right? Like, I got a song where there's a little stanza. It was like, well, I said something like to the degree of like, I don't ask one to do what I could do myself. I said, I know you don't view me how I view myself, so I know you won't do me how I do myself, so I don't ask one to do what I could do myself. Right? So you gotta be willing to do it for yourself. You gotta be willing to invest in yourself. You can't expect nobody to want to put their money behind you,
Right.
their time behind you. Right? People will do it when they see you doing it.
Right.
When they feel like
see
you're
motion.
going somewhere, and you can't front when people, oh, they see I got motion, and then they want to get on. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Okay.
Right? That's the way it's supposed to be, because like I can't push you harder than you want to push
Then
yourself.
you can push yourself. Yeah.
I tried that. It don't work.
Right.
Right?
You
Like,
got to be an equal partner.
You got to seek
or
it
even
out.
more.
You got to be more than, this is your thing.
Right. It benefits you.
This is your
the
thing.
most.
Right? So that's what you want to do it. It ain't hard. You just got to be able to do it. Like, and then you got to, like, what you define as success is key too.
Okay.
Right? Like, to me, being able to do what I love and take care of myself and my family is success.
Absolutely.
Right? If I can make music for the rest of my life, or take pictures for the rest of my life, and do that, and never have to work in a cubicle or work for another company, or do nothing, like, and provide a family, and then leave a legacy behind that they can actually use to produce, that's success. I don't have to have Grammy status. I don't got to be a award-winning art. Like, that's all cool if it happened. I don't got to sell 100 million records, right? If I could produce, what's the average salary?
But maybe what, 50?
50,000, right? If I could produce $50,000 a year doing what I love,
Off of your creativity.
I'm successful.
Yeah.
Right? In 10 years, that's 500,000 off of what I love.
Right.
Right? And that's just like the minimum, right?
Off of something you would have did anyway.
And you can figure it out. You was gonna do it for free.
Anyway.
Most people stop because people don't. They feel like, okay, this is success, right? Success is I got to be a millionaire, billionaire, whatever, right? Like, they want to be famous more than they want to be successable.
Right. That's
Right?
what they equate success and fame.
With fame.
Yeah.
Everybody know me. They want to walk in the room and stun on the nigga.
I'm
You know what I'm saying? They want to walk in the room like,
That's not
yo,
successful.
yeah, that ain't
man.
success. So it's like, you got to define what success is. So you don't want to work that job. What's hell for you? All right, define it, right?
Right.
Hell is having to go do something that I don't want to
That
do.
you don't want to do. Mhm.
Right? It's like, all right, so what can I do to avoid that? I'm going to take these talents I got, and I'm going to make it work.
Right.
Right? I'm going to put my all into it. And then you control your life and your world with that, because you eat what you kill.
Okay. No.
Right? What you put in is what you're going to get out.
Yeah.
The input is going to determine the output, right? Like, this when this type shit start connecting.
Right.
It ain't like that at a job. I cap you at a job. I'm going to give you 40 hours, and I'm going to give you $10,
Right.
$10 an hour. I cap you.
Yeah.
And I'm requiring all of the time that matters, right? So you can be burnt the fuck out by the
Right.
time.
You trading your time
You know what I mean?
with money.
Over here, it's like, yo, I could put this amount of hours in. I could put a price on it. Like, there's no limits to what you could do for
What
yourself.
I could produce for me.
Yeah, it's just a matter if you really want it.
Yeah.
Like, and we live in a time now where, like, I come up in a time where you really had to pop up on people.
Okay.
Like, you literally
Like,
had to go there.
Yeah,
That's why
footwork.
That's why it was so few people getting on.
Because everybody wasn't willing to do it.
He wasn't willing to pop up there.
Right.
I got a quick story. I had a homie that I went to school with. He used to be in them ciphers.
Uh-huh.
I run into him after we got signed in a sneaker store. I was like, yo, come up to New York. That's always been me. Like, you got talent, come on up. Like, I'll introduce you. Like, it ain't about nothing.
No gatekeeping.
He never called, never came, nothing, right?
Really? Okay.
I run into him years later. You know what he said to me? He said,
What?
yo, when I saw you in the sneaker store, nigga, and you told me y'all signed, nigga, I hated you.
Wow.
I said, for what?
And you
He
gave
said, yo,
him
nigga, I
the
thought I was better
opportunity.
than you. I asked a nigga one question. I said, "Yo, what you do after high school, my nigga?" I won the Army. Ask me where I went at. New York, nigga. That was a difference. The difference in decision, right? Like,
Right.
I believed in it, so I did it. If you believe in it, you're gonna do it. Like, nothing gonna stop you.
Wow, that's what's up. So I'm hearing you say, just believe in yourself, put forth the effort, and invest in yourself, y'all.
You only live once. Like, these years, and this the other thing too is, right, there's no age limit on this shit. Like, they'll try to make you feel like you gotta make it
By a certain age, or you max out when you get.
Yo, that was everything. I thought I had to do it by 25.
Okay, and who said that? You did.
They made you feel like that. Like,
Got you.
I don't know
Yeah.
who they is, but like,
It was
I can't even
industry
tell you.
standards. They used to try to make you feel old.
Nobody's verbally said it to me, like, but that was the feeling that you got. Yo, I got to do this by this age, right? Yo, there is no limits to this shit. Like, you could do whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want. Now, this is gonna be different. Again, based on what you consider success.
Okay.
Right? Like, yeah, you might not sell 1 million records because the label ain't gonna push you because you 50. But you could sell, but you might be able to sell, 50,000 independent.
Yeah, to your demographic.
5,000 records at, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, $20 a piece, right? Like, how many times can you do that a year?
Right. And that's up to you.
Retain the client, retain your customer information. You know where all you control more shit than the artist that got the deal because you control all the information. Now you can remarket to them every time you drop an album. You could remarket it to them every time you know where everybody live at. So if you want to go do a show, you ain't gotta go do these big Live Nation
big venues.
Go get the bar, bro. That fit 200 people in there.
Right.
$20 a head, give them sell some merch, like do all that, tie all that in. It don't matter how you getting it. You doing what you love.
What you love, you would have did it anyway.
And you getting money doing it.
Yeah.
Like, that's all that matter.
Yeah. So I'm big on music and mood. I don't want to get political, but it might be a hard 4 years. So, just for people who may be not in the best space, do you have like a song or something that like your go-to that gets you in a good mood? What would it be?
To like lift me up.
Yeah.
I mean, you got like Sounds of Blackness.
What as long as you keep.
Yeah, like it's like you need some motivation. Like I got a whole motivational playlist.
Okay.
Right? Like sometimes shit might be gospel. It could be anything. It could be a hip hop record. Like
No, not did you say sometimes shit might be.
Yeah, if I want some King energy, like I'm telling you, like because I said shit.
Yeah. That's hilarious. I'm not judging. No judgment.
Listen, God know my heart, man.
Listen.
Yeah.
You got to be inspirational. You said it might have gospel on there.
Yeah. So like anytime I need a vibe, it's a mixture. Like literally, if you get in a car with me, you can be like, "Yo, what the fuck are you listening to?" Because I'll listen to everything from folk all the way to the hip hop. Like people think I be listening strictly to like hip hop. Like I listen, like I tap in to everything.
Okay,
like,
now
whatever give me a vibe.
Before we close out, how important is it for artists to have that wide just variety of music and being open to listening to everything? Like how does that influence creativity?
So I think that if you only in one space, right, you're not gonna see what the options are, right? And you're not gonna see. So there's other things going on creatively, right? I said funk, right? One of my favorite songs is "Cats in the Cradle" by Harry Chapman. Cats in the Cradle and a silver spoon, right? The songwriting on that song is impeccable. So he started out in the beginning of the song like, "Yo, son's like, oh, that's my dad. He's busy. I want to be just like him when I grow up," right? So when you get to the end of the song, his son is fleeing him now.
Right, the dad is old.
Listen, the kids are sick. The job driving me crazy, Dad. But it was sure good talking to you, Dad. I'll see you later, right?
Gotcha.
And at the end of the song, he like, damn, my boy grew up to be just like me. If you never heard a record to see that you could do that, right? Unless you just got some genius brain, right? Like you're not going to think that you could do that in hip hop, right? Like,
right.
It's going to give you limits, right? That's why people like B and Beyonce and all them jumping into like different genres and really tapping into other stuff makes sense because like there should be no limits to what what you can create. Like and it produces like new shit. So now you can come into hip hop and introduce something new.
Right. I think it all boils down to storytelling. Like I love stories, and you could tell all kinds of stories through art and creativity. So yeah.
For sure, yeah.
For the record, MC Search executively produced Illmatic and It Was Written.
What?
He did both?
I didn't know that.
I know he did. But he don't got no tracks on it though.
He didn't produce.
So that's probably what I was
Okay.
thinking about.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know that he did it was written. So
I didn't know that either.
That's crazy.
Oh, we learned something new today. Yo, this was such a dope conversation. I want to thank
for
you
sure.
so much for sharing your knowledge, for being here,
Thank you
and
for
for
having me.
yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Like I always I like doing these type of like interviews where you could kind of like dig into, other stuff like except not just like sensational stuff, right? Like
Right, it's
everybody's
all
like,
positive.
yeah, you go on a, thought process and stuff like that,
Man.
and, experiences and all that. Yeah, it's dope.
Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope you learned something. I know I did. And until next time.